That's a good question. Like, what really orange pilled you? Like, was it like the investment like part of Bitcoin, or was it like the technical background you had?
A little bit of both. So it's one of those things, like it's often said that you have to kind of run into Bitcoin a couple times to really get it.
Yeah.
Did
So
you use shitcoin?
no, not really. No, I've explored
Wow.
I've explored the others about how they work, right? So because I like to learn, like I like to say, open a MetaMask and go try a DeFi out just to see what the interface is like. So I do it for research purposes, but not with any sort of, not like I don't trade with it. I don't do anything really other than that. The way I got orange pilled was basically I encountered it a number of times, and each time I thought it was neat, but I didn't know how to price it, and I didn't know if it would catch on. I didn't know if it'd be banned. And my biggest kind of question all along was, kind of the classic FUD. I think it's a reasonable question at first, which is, okay, if you can just make Bitcoin, why can't you just make another Bitcoin? And there's all these other cryptos, and what makes Bitcoin special? So that was kind of like my long-term thing that made me kind of skeptical. But even though I liked it, I thought it was neat. And eventually, just kind of sitting down and seeing the network effects of it, and then especially seeing the Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash fork get settled by the market, I was like, okay, so this is, I was seeing the Bitcoin only industry develop separate from the crypto industry.
So this was around 2016, 17?
Yeah, I started
Earlier.
covering it seriously in 2017. That's when I started really digging into it. I got the basic idea before then. Like I was aware of it and I thought it was neat, but it wasn't on my radar to really cover. And once 2017 really kind of caught my eye, and then it had the blow off top, and I was like, it's too euphoric. But then as it kind of grinded through that bear market, that's when I got bullish. I said, okay, I kind of looked back at the long-term history. I looked at the log charts rather than the linear charts. I looked at network effect analysis on it. I kind of dug into the whole security model more closely, and basically that's what shifted me bullish on the asset. Spending time on it essentially.
It wasn't John McAfee's $1 million call in 2021 that got you to buy Bitcoin.
No,
Flow
probably
model.
if anything, those kind of calls are what, I sympathize with the people that don't get Bitcoin because they go online and they see people like, calling for $1 million by X date.
Yes.
And they're kind of like,
That's Sean. That's Sean.
so, but
if you don't do that, you're bearish. So you gotta figure out which way.
Yeah, Lynn, when do you think it's going to hit $1 million USD?
so I think a long time, but I think it's not unreasonable that it gets there, right? So I think, looking at there's like all those logarithmic trends you can do, right? So I think 2030 maybe, right?
But the date. I want the date.
I'm joking.
April 3rd, 2032.
You heard it here.
Note it down.
At 7:54 p.m. Eastern time.
Nice.
Okay, write that down.
That's a
Write
little
that
too
down.
specific. It's a little.
Got that under the road.
All right.
We have
Noted.
recorded forever.
It's on the internet now.
Yeah.
Is that EST time?
Yeah. What?
Max,
Yes,
eat your heart
Eastern.
out.
Yeah.